All right, this is Joe Askins from YoChicago.com, a new home notebook. Today I am in a model unit at 1400 North Lakeshore Drive. I am with Chris Feurer of Jameson and Michael Fine. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the auction that you guys will be having here in, what, a couple weekends from now?
Yeah, April 25th.
All right.
About 10 days away.
All right. Well, we wanted to come by here, just take a look around the building and talk to you guys a little bit both about the process and, Chris, in your case, why Jameson decided now is the time to kind of start dipping your toes into the auction business a little bit.
Well, that's a good question.
So why don't we just start off with the basics? Tell us a little bit about the building that we're in.
All right, so this building is a 402 unit conversion that was converted back in 2005, I believe. And obviously that was the heart of the boom time, so they came out of the gates blazing and sold a significant amount of units. Sometime thereafter, there was probably a pretty considerable delay between the contracts and the closing, so they lost a significant amount of contracts due to the timing. People just went out and found other projects and properties that they could close on quicker. So in any event, by the time that all transpired, the market started cooling off and it ended up having about 86 units left here, which relatively is not bad at all. You know, selling about 320 units was a pretty good feat in itself. So that's where we came today, where we're at about 86 units in the building. The issue right now, if there were any, is that it's hard to compare this building to this particular location. There's not a lot of comps out there that are really relevant. So to put a value on this building is pretty tough to do, frankly.
I'm going to butt in just for a second. Let's talk about that location, because I gave the address, but we might as well let people know we are
a pretty key point.
We are in the Gold Coast. You can step right out the front door, look out most of the windows, and have a beautiful view of the lake. And so yeah, this is not the type of building that we've seen auctions at in quite a while.
Well, I'll let Mike talk more about that, but to say that this is a marquee location would be almost an understatement. 1400 North Lakeshore, it's truly the heart of the Gold Coast. You're at 1400 North, which is directly between Division and North Avenue and right on the lake, so you couldn't ask for a better location. You know, you look out the window here, you're going to see the lake. On the other side, if you look out the back, I'm looking at a $12 million mansion. So as far as any other building that's had this caliber that's ever been auctioned, I'm certainly not aware of any, and Mike would know more about that.
It's very rare that there's an opportunity to buy great buildings in Chicago at auction. The cycle only seems to hit with those opportunities about once every 20 years. And so this is really an unusual opportunity to buy at a great location and a property that affords itself to a buying public that cannot afford many of the other competing buildings in the area. And so this building is designed with smaller apartments for either for more younger buyers or for people that are looking for a place in the city and already have a home in the suburbs but want a place to hang out here in the city as well.
It certainly was interesting when I was sitting in the lobby this afternoon, just kind of keeping an eye on the people who were coming and going. Who saw a couple with a small child, saw a lot of people my age, late 20s, saw some older folks. It seems like you have a really great mix of people here in this building. Tell us a little bit about what's going to be available come auction time. You're not going to be auctioning off all the units. We're not trying to go for a full closeout here, it sounds like. But tell us what's available and how you're going to go about that process.
Sure. Well, the marketing plan at this point was not to have a full closeout. Was that the ownership has taken the position of leasing a number of the units that are still available in the building and holding them until the market is much more improved than it is today, and take advantage of the profits on those by selling at higher prices later. So this auction was designed to sell somewhere between 15 and 30 residences at the auction. They're guaranteeing the sale of 15, subject to the low aggressive minimum bids that are established in all of our printed materials. And then we'll bid the next 15 units with the seller having the right to accept or reject the highest bids.
All right. And we can see from the board behind you, you use a system that we've seen several times in auctions here in the last year, which is the bidder's choice system, where To put it simply, people will be bidding on a pool, correct?
That's
and,
right.
With the idea that the winning bidder gets to select one of, say in this case, the 6 condos that are in that pool.
That's right. The idea of high bidder's choice is it gives a buyer a better opportunity to get the property that they want than when they're bid one at a time at an auction. Because what each buyer does when they come to look at a building like this is that they make up a list of what would be their first choice, second choice, third choice, or even fourth choice to buy at the auction itself. And the dilemma when they're being bid in a specific order is the buyer isn't sure what to do if his second choice is being bid before he has an opportunity to see if he can afford to buy his first choice. Through this method of bidding, the buyer identifies how much money they want to spend, bids that much in a round of bidding, and knows what's available at that price to choose from.
Right. And then in your pools, do you try to arrange them in, say, a similar tier or price point? Is that how each pool is put together, or you guys see a wide variety in a single pool?
You try to identify the pools in the way that the buyers would like the pools to be identified. So what we do at all the open houses and in our callback program is to ask the buyers what they're interested in. And so if a buyer tells us that if we hear from buyers that they're only interested in specific tiers, then that would make sense then to pool them by tier. If the buyers are saying, I'm grouping 2 or 3 tiers together in my choices, then we would put those groups together in how we put the pools together. So we really try to make it exactly as the buyers are thinking that the group should be put together.